Welcome along. Thank you guys so much for joining me. As a matter of fact, let me go ahead and plug in one of these AirPods so that I can more effectively communicate with you guys. There's something that actually just caught my attention today. I think it was today. I don't think I knew about this yesterday, if I'm honest. Either way, I hadn't had the time to really speak about it, but it might have been today that I heard about it, if I'm not mistaken. Sometimes the days kind of run together, but I think it did happen yesterday. Um, I think I heard about it maybe earlier today, but it's like I keep seeing it popping up in my recommendations, and a lot of people got a lot of things to say about what's happened at the Marathon Burger. And I'm not even quite sure what this location. I do believe this was the Long Beach location, because I did hear somebody mention that earlier. But let's see what the Los Angeles Times. Is it the Los Angeles Times? Hopefully, I don't have to subscribe. I'm not going to subscribe to read an article. So if I have to subscribe, okay, let me find somewhere else. Mm-hmm. All right, so let's see. See, this news article loads. All right, so one passed away and two hurt. All right, so at some point I'm gonna have to fix that. But one passed away and two hurt in a you guys know, from the blank, near grand opening of new Long Beach Marathon Burger. Now, we all know, I don't know if you guys know, if you guys are familiar with it. Nipsey Hussle's slogan is the marathon continues. So the Marathon Burger is something that, his brother, I've seen, like, I don't know who is actually running it, whether, it's a part of Nipsey Hussle's estate. But I do see his brother, Black Sam, who was always, you know, front and center when it came to anything to do with Nipsey Hussle. He has been the one that's been kind of behind the scenes and in the forefront. Everybody's been seeing him championing the Marathon Burger. Now, you know, we've seen it before, right? Where certain things that happen and it happens on camera, it just doesn't look good, right? Now we can't just get out here and just talk about, you know, the things that happen behind the scenes. We can only speak about what we've seen on camera. You understand what I'm saying? The first situation, I'm not entirely upset with him about the first situation. The first time we seen him kind of press somebody, because it seemed as if that individual was hanging around people that didn't have the best interest of Nipsey, and then coming playing both sides of the coin. That's what it seemed like, and it seemed as if Black Sam was just addressing that. I don't have any problems with that. Um, but I think we got to start thinking about legacy. You understand what I'm saying? And I believe Black Sam's a good dude. I think Black Sam does have his brother's best interest. I really do know that he cares about Nipsey, and Nipsey cares about Black Sam. You know what I mean? The two of them rode for each other, no matter what the situation was. You know what I mean? From the outside looking in, that's what it seemed like, and you get that genuine energy from both of them, that they willing to go to bat for one another. Um, that being said, we don't. I can't sit up here and say what happened or why it happened. You know what I mean? In terms of what transpired over there in Long Beach. But let's get into the story. Let's see, because obviously the media is they're just only gonna report what they know and based on their perspective. So let's see if we can kind of decipher what it is that they're saying. So this is what ABC Eyewitness News 24/7. So Long Beach, California. Uh we're fill in the blank. Sent crowds running near the grand opening of the newest Marathon Burger location in downtown Long Beach. on Sunday. Oh well, it's Monday, so it did happen yesterday. So this grand opening was yesterday, turning what was intended to be a celebration into a chaotic and tragic scene. Um, so if you guys don't know, Nipsey Hussle, he repped a set over there in in Crenshaw. You know what I mean? He repped a set over there in Los Angeles, and that set has opposition. You know what I mean? Hey, what sport do you like to play? I'll talk about that in a little bit, man. We talking about sports right now. But we'll talk about that in a little bit, man. But big shout outs to you, Sawyer Bird. But yeah, um, let's see. Police said fire erupted around 3:30 p.m. about half a block south of the event on Broadway near Pine Avenue, just outside the perimeter that had been blocked. Right? That had been blocked off for the celebrations. Hundreds of people had gathered earlier in that day for the opening of a new Marathon Burger location, the fast food chain founded by the late rapper Nipsey Hussle and his brother Black Sam. So these are the two individuals responsible for these are the founders. Can you do a backflip? Okay, all right. Um, Witness Eric Van Dyke, a relative of Hussle, said he saw the panic unfold. I saw people running. When you see a mass of, you know something's going on. And the way they ran in one direction and then the other direction, then somebody said that they heard bang bang. You guys know what bang bang is. He said Van Dyke said the violence overshadowed the spirit of the day. Of course it did. All right, man. Come on, brother. Please don't spam. But you know what I mean? I do appreciate all the support, but it's no need to spam. If you're gonna support, man, hit the like. You dig what I'm saying? Like all this is just going like you know what I mean? Appreciate that. Just hit the like button. I saw people running. When you see, okay, we read that part. It was disappointing because I know that Nip Black Sam wanted this to be a happy occasion. So it's unfortunate that something happened that would bring more attention to the negative elements as opposed to the positive elements, he said. So a lot of times when these situations are happening, right? Think about it. You may have people that are opposing you, right? So you grow up in an environment where you have people that are opposing you. Like we don't know what it is that transpired in the street and why it is that these individuals and these tribes can't stand each other. You know what I mean? We don't know if this was while Nipsey was around. We don't know if it's been a situation that doesn't have anything to do with Nipsey. It could be other people that are there that seen each other and decided they was going to get one off. And it's rather unfortunate that these things keep happening around somebody who we hold in such high regard. Somebody like a Nipsey Hussle who we think very highly of. You know what I mean? Um, and again, this isn't something that directly has anything to do with or has any involvement with him, obviously. But at the same time, um, especially in business, I think they have to be mindful of people's perception. I think, for you to be opening one chain and then the next chain, or how many other chains of this restaurant they have open, you can't have these things occurring so frequently. They can't be occurring so frequently. If they're occurring frequently, people are just gonna start saying, "Hey, man, look, I like it here on Earth." You understand what I'm saying? So people got to be mindful of that. At the same time, you don't know who's gonna try to pull up to sabotage what it is that you got going on. You don't know who's gonna do that. And it seemed as if there may be a little bit of that involved. You know what I mean? Like this dude talking my front flip. All right, man, I'm about to get this dude up out of here, man. Peace out, brother. Taco Z. Man, I hate to do this to y'all, man. All right, let me just put him in timeout for 30 minutes, maybe until after the video is done or whatever it is. But I don't know why he's. Big shout outs to Karina. Karina. Big shout outs to you, Karina. But yeah, you know what I mean? There's a lot of things that may be surrounding, you know what I mean, Nipsey Hussle, that we don't know, that we're not privy to. We don't know who they were into it with. Um, but yeah, you know what I mean? I think I think maybe it's time to just re-strategize how you're gonna approach the situation because it's so close to home. Like people that you have problems with, right? People that don't want to see you succeed for whatever reason, they know that you're about to open a spot over there, and they might think to themselves, "Man, I don't like such and such and such," and then they come up there and they do something, right? So they're willing to sabotage your own life in order to destroy what it is that you got going on. You understand what I'm saying? So that there could be an element of that where this is concerned. You know what I mean? Um. Okay. So that three men were shot. Okay, we can't. I don't know if we could say that word. And taken to the hospital, where one later passed away. The other two remain in stable condition on Sunday night. That's devastating. That's devastating. You know what I'm saying? Especially being that this is a grand opening. We're here to honor Nipsey Hussle, the late great, and that's not what he would have wanted. Nearby resident Seven said. Yeah, let me see. Let me see. Let me see. Let me see. It said no suspects were in custody and the investigation remained ongoing. Investigators have not said whether the situation was connected to the grand opening event. A spokesperson for Marathon Burger, however, told Eyewitness News the incident was not related to um, the restaurant's debut. So, um, a spokesperson for Marathon Burger said it don't got nothing to do with us. You know what I mean? Despite the situation. So it could be, you know what I mean? I think a lot of people, right, the publicity around it, a lot of people are going to want to attribute it to Black Sam. But it could be that this don't have nothing to do with them, in which I alluded to that could be one of the scenarios where this is just something that it could be just two individuals that was just getting into it over there. You know what I mean? The energy that a lot of people that were there were bringing was a lot of aggressive energy, a lot of alpha energies there. You understand what I'm saying? And you mix that with stupidity. You mix that with, you know, maybe some people were drinking. You never know what it is that was happening. You know what I mean? And they see somebody or somebody disrespect them or whatever it is, and people feel like they got to get their issue off, and then they just get their issue off. And not caring about the repercussions or what I mean, how it affects other people negatively. You understand what I'm saying? They just gonna do what it is that they feel like they need to do in that moment. So I think as business people, you know what I mean, Black Sam has to start learning from these things. He gotta start learning and coming up with better strategies of how he's gonna do these grand openings, if he's gonna do these grand openings, um, if he's gonna allow somebody else to do it, you know what I mean? If he wants to start or go somewhere else first or whatever it is, there's plenty of ideas. He got to go sit down, you know what I mean? Get to the drawing board and just come up with some new ideas, man. Some different ways how you could approach the situation because, you know what I mean? It's no sense having a product that maybe a lot of people would be interested in trying, right? You guys know I'm on a vegetarian diet or pescatarian diet, so I probably wouldn't be trying that. Maybe if they got some Beyond Burger or something like that, you dig what I'm saying? I'd probably get that a try, you dig? But for the most part, I definitely support, the business venture that Black Sam you know what I mean, and Nipsey put into play. And this is, you know what I mean, definitely gonna be something that helps, you know, cement his legacy and helps to take care of Nipsey Hussle's kids as well. You know what I mean? So yeah, man, it's just rather unfortunate that, you know, people aren't willing to see the bigger picture. You know what I mean? And are just looking at the here and now. Because a lot of lives were affected. Some people are not going to be here anymore. And who knows what the situation was over? Who knows if it was something that was worth doing that over at all? Um, you understand what I'm saying? But you know, in a situation like that where so many people around, oh man, you guys got to find better places and better ways of handling situations. Um, you know what I mean? Everything doesn't require you pulling out and popping at someone. You dig what I'm saying? Everything doesn't require that. But again, we don't know the details of what it is that took place. But you know, for me, I won't let it take my perspective on Nipsey Hussle's legacy. What I'm saying? I think people got to kind of look back at the discipline and the motivation and, you know what I mean, the drive, the wisdom, you know what I mean, that Nipsey Hussle had, and how that impacted the culture in a positive way. So, despite all the other things that were, you know what I mean, that may have been surrounding Nipsey, or the things that were happening, you know what I mean, behind the scenes. Hold on, give me a second. Yeah, you know what I mean. I'm just not gonna allow it to affect Nipsey's legacy. You know what I mean, for me anyway. You did, but yeah, I do think that the people behind the scenes got to be more mindful of that, man. Got to be mindful of that sort of stuff, man, because there's people around that don't want to see you guys doing good. There's people around that don't want to see you guys doing good. You don't know where that's coming from. You don't know if somebody said, "Hey, do this" or whatever it is. You don't know where that situation's coming from, and in a lot of cases, all we're gonna be able to do is just speculate. Are we ever gonna know for real? You know what I mean? Who knows? Um, but yeah, man, I just wish success to them. You know what I mean? I don't know if they got a vegan portion of that menu, or if they, you dig what I'm saying? Where it's like instead of serving beef, they serve like an impossible burger, or something different or whatever it is. But yeah, because I definitely would try something, you know what I mean, to support for sure. You did? Yeah. But yeah, man, you know what I mean? I do you know, Black Sam, you know what I mean? Anybody that lose their brother, if you've ever lost somebody to, you know, this sort of violence, like I have, he has. You understand what I'm saying? Um, People that are close to you or people that are family members or whatever it is. It's like you know what I mean? It's like they're here one day and then the next day they're not. And it's almost like, wow, like, you know what I mean? There was nothing wrong with them or whatever. You know what I mean? And then you just got snatched up. And it it should open your perspective to life and show you how no moment is really promised or guaranteed to anybody. And it should add a level of fearlessness to you as well. You know what I mean? A certain level. Whatever that means to you is what it means to you, but I know what that means to me. But it should also propel you to live life to the fullest. You understand what I'm saying? And there's people that are just not on that frequency yet. And it's unfortunate that, you know what I mean, in these environments that we're from, these things tend to occur so frequently. You know what I mean? And they occur frequently and they occur to people that we know, people that we don't know, people that we like, people that we don't like. You know what I mean? You know, I just feel like we could do a whole lot better, man. Just as a community, as a society. You know what I mean? You know, that's how I feel. Yeah, that's how I feel. I don't know how y'all feel about that. Hmm. Let me see something. Mm. I haven't actually seen like the actual, but I was looking for. Hold on. I was looking for the actual footage, but I didn't actually see much of the actual footage. You know what I mean? Like the things, the way how people are describing it, like I didn't see that stuff. Um, but I'm looking at some of the aftermath right now. Forgive me, y'all. I am kind of tired. I know I'm kind of like I'm lagging, but I decided I'm gonna keep putting out content. You understand what I'm saying? You know. So this is like my third or fourth live today. You know what I mean? But we're gonna keep it going. You did? All right. This isn't showing me what it is that I want to see. This is showing me the aftermath, but it's not showing me what it is that I want to see. Let me see. Let's see this one. The legacy of Nipsey Hussle and his family's marathon brand is coming to the heart here of downtown Long Beach. Marathon Burger built. All right, let me. No, no, who's this? All right, let's see this one. Good evening. I'm Susan Harris. Your top story: a day of celebration turns into chaos. Gunfire erupts at a packed block party, leaving one dead and others injured. She said a packed block party. So you see, like a lot of times with the news, like they're not gonna report it as it actually is. A lot of times, um, she's calling it a block party, a complete disregard to the actual reason why people were gathering there, which is to conduct business. You understand what I'm saying? She called it a block party, which I'm sure she's not misinformed. And maybe somebody over her, you know what I mean, who's responsible for writing this stuff, actually wrote that in. The violence breaking out during the grand opening of a new burger spot. Next is Matthew Seedorf is live in Long Beach with the latest there. Matthew. Well, Susan, there were thousands of people out here today filling the street for that block party at the restaurant on this block, but then the shooting taking place another block over at the parking garage. You can see police out here tonight still investigating exactly what happened. Dramatic moments in downtown Long Beach as crowds of people run from a deadly shooting. Police near Broadway and Pine rush in with weapons drawn. Several people put in handcuffs. Officers carrying one victim to their patrol car. Skyfox over the scene where authorities say three men in their 20s were shot. One of the victims killed. So all of these, so three men were in their 20s. So these are some younger dudes that were getting involved in this stuff. Not entirely sure who's the one that put them in this predicament, but or in this situation, but yeah, it does seem yeah, Nipsey would have been in if not in his 40s, definitely close to his 40. I think Nipsey would have been around 40. You dig what I'm saying? Yeah, so Nipsey wouldn't have been in his 20s now if he was still alive. Would he been 40? He'd have been 39, I think. Something like that. Before the shooting, a massive crowd filling the street for a block party in the grand opening of Marathon Burger. They keep calling it a block party. I'm not a fan of that. I think you got to call it what it's a grand opening. If you want to, are people there in a festive mood? Yeah, for sure. You dig what I'm saying? For what it is that they're celebrating. But a block party, I wouldn't call it a block party. Mm-mm. To the restaurant at all. We have full security team. We have police, street closure, people eating ice cream and playing basketball games. So far, no suspects taken into police custody. Authorities unable to release a motive for the deadly shooting. Yeah, man. Cornered off, and again, so far. Whole bunch, yeah, what he just alluded to a whole bunch of different tribes, man. Different tribes. Got a whole bunch of different people, and everybody wants to be the top tribe. Or you know what I mean? In that moment, maybe somebody didn't want to be the top tribe, but somebody felt disrespected. Like they had to do something. And you know what I mean? It's a lot that goes on that, you know what I mean? It's just a lot that goes on. And sometimes it don't even need to go on, you know?
I don't know if you would know, but does the restaurant think that they're going to have to, going forward, always have security around?
No, the restaurant's not gonna feel like they always have to have security around. Unless every restaurant there is gonna have security around. Um, is security gonna stop that from happening? That's one question to ask. Number two, because the safety of people absolutely matters, yes. But based on what these people are saying, it didn't even happen at the restaurant. It happened maybe a few blocks away from the restaurant. Um, so is it connected to the restaurant? Who knows? Maybe, maybe not. You know what I mean? But at the end of the day, I feel like we could do better. We could do a whole lot better. You know what I mean? We could do a whole lot better as a people. Um, and whether or not you have issues with somebody is a time and a place. I don't know if that's the time and place that handles, that sort of situation, especially with so many innocent people around. Y'all got to be mindful of these things. You know what I mean? That's one of the big reasons why I don't do too many crowds. And if I am somewhere where there's a large crowd, I'm assessing things and I'm looking around, and I'm not drinking a whole bunch of alcohol and getting all loose and you know what I mean. Not chill. You understand what I'm saying? Be observant. Look around. Pay attention to your surroundings. There's a lot of people out there trying to prove something. You ain't got nothing to prove. Make it back home to your family. If you got to protect yourself and defend yourself, I'm absolutely going to support whoever's doing that. But people that's going out doing knuckleheaded, boneheaded stuff like this, nah, man. Because I think they think what they did was gangster. I don't know the situation, but from my perspective, it looks reckless. It looks foolish. You understand what I'm saying? It's something that didn't need to happen right there. From my perspective, anyway. Something that didn't need to happen at all. But, who knows why. Anyway, I just wanted to do another live stream talking about that. You know what I mean? I'm a bit tired. I ain't gonna hold you. As you guys could probably see in my eyes. But I'm gonna continue to put forth this content. I might just take a nap, come back later, and do another live stream. Man, I love doing this. You dig what I'm saying? I love connecting with y'all. Y'all keep supporting it. Thank you so much for all the likes and the love, and appreciate all the subscribe and all that sort of stuff. Thank you. One love, each and every one of you. Peace.